copy? Commander, come on, Shepard, don't leave me hanging. Do you copy?
I'm here, Joker. Did the ground team make it?
All survivors on board. We're just waiting for you.
Human, you've changed nothing. Your species has the attention of those infinitely or greater. That which you know as Reapers are your salvation to destruction.
Gist of it, Edie. Hold on!
You have failed. We will find another way. Releasing control.
Right, that's that then. If you keep the base, you get a blue explosion. Just like to add there that Joker should have broken quite a few bones trying to fire that assault rifle. But, you know, cinematic license and all that.
Shepard, you're making a habit of costing me more than time and money.
You get the help you deserve.
And what about the rest of humanity? Your ideals have cost us more than you can imagine. The technology from that base could have secured human dominance in the galaxy, against the Reapers and beyond.
Human dominance? Or just Cerberus?
Strength for Cerberus is strength for every human. Cerberus is humanity. I should have known you'd choke on the hard decisions. Too idealistic from the start.
I know what you are and the price of dealing with you. We do things my way from now on. Harbinger is coming and he won't be alone. I'm gonna make sure we're ready when they get here. You can fall in line or step aside, but don't get in my way.
You're sure that's what you want? You're taking a hell of a risk, Shepard.
Joker, lose this channel.
Yeah, he still has his star at least. That's foreboding. But yes, Mass Effect 2. But wait, there's more! Haven't stopped Let's Playing it yet. Just so happens this is the end of the story. Well, almost. This is the end of the main story. There are plot-relevant things still to do, with the help of a bit of DLC. Loyalty missions to complete as well. But anyway, some bit of a retrospective. Transition between Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. Like some things, dislike others. I think the combat is probably something that there's many improvements, but you can tell it's not polished at times. Like the Vanguard charge bug, generally clunky controls, not being able to switch weapons without bringing out the HUD, and just how it feels like you're playing a faster-paced game a bit like, yeah, playing a fast-paced game but still using Mass Effect 1's control system, almost. It just needs to be polished and a few things knocked off the edges here and there. But overall, I prefer the faster pace, although I'd appreciate more powers and more variety. Because, as you can see with the Vanguard, it's pretty much a one-trick pony without bonus powers, like Reeve or Flashbang, which I might demonstrate at some point when we complete Kasumi's loyalty mission. Very fun power, that. The Harbinger gets one of those. It's like, you will feel this, Shepard. My eyes, I'm distracted for the next 5 seconds. But yeah, combat, overall I like the changes that were made, but certain things such as limited ammo there's no need for. I'd prefer there was more variety in weapon upgrades and customization. Armor definitely has to come back, and I hear it is for Mass Effect 3. I've stayed mostly in the dark on that Mass Effect 3 because I intend to actually try and do it blind rather than getting spoiled at all by trailers, because that's an annoying thing these days, is games and movies spoil themselves with their own trailers. Like, they'll show who the surprise mole in the organisation is, or who the real bad guy is that's going to be fought at the end of the movie or the game, or generally reveal too much, which impacts on your actual playing experience. Sound like a marketer there, but that's how it is. A roll call of stars here. Sure you recognise at least some of them. But yeah, as for the actual storyline, I think it's weak. Because we got the Collectors as an enemy, and we only faced them about 3 times directly. They're not really built up properly, and there's no real payoff. For instance, why is no Praetorian in the base there? Not that I want to fight one, but it would make sense for defending their base. And generally how most of the game is spent doing loyalty missions, solving squadmate issues, resolving personal things. And I think there's a symptom of it being the second game of the franchise more than anything. Apart from some of the huge plot holes and improvements that I can think of, like, for instance, why does Cerberus tell you it's Cerberus immediately after hiring you? I mean, if you're dealing with a Paragon Commander Shepard who has a bad history of Cerberus, surely it would make more sense to pretend you're top secret Alliance intel, and then, you know, partway through the game it's revealed that, shock horror, you're actually working for Cerberus, and you have to deal with that somehow. That would make an interesting conflict to have in there. But I think, yeah, you could get overburdened with dealing with issues from the front and back at the same time, just like a lot more could be done to explore Commander Shepard's death. What happens after death? I'm sure she should get asked quite a few questions about that, and just how you might have a personal crisis over the fact you've been resurrected. Not the same body exactly, and you've technically been dead. There's a lot of opportunity there. But by what I mean as a symptom of being the second game is that they need to bridge Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 3 and introduce a mostly new cast. Hopefully they're staying on for Mass Effect 3. We'll see the return of Mass Effect 1 characters as well, in various supporting or squad roles indeed. That's something I'm looking forward to. Surprises in that department. of course, we have to accept, I think, that stories don't always, well, they very rarely actually pay off. Generally, you're disappointed with an ending because, well, it's an ending, and you're left thinking, where from here? And you're left thinking also all the different ways you could end it. The mystery goes. It's just like solving the question of the Shebans in Free Space 2. Is the drawback of that is they are no longer a mysterious foe. There's that fear and intrigue gone. It's like explaining Cthulhu. Same with the Reapers. I mean, I'm sure you could ask any player, even the most casual, and they probably got a couple of theories as to their origins and purpose. I know I have. Won't go on at length about them though, because that's just a bit too nerdy for me even. But yeah, with those many theories floating around, and the fact you've planned out from the beginning how it's going to be based on the evidence you have, then it's always going to be disappointing when we find out the real purpose and where they came from and generally how we're going to deal with them. But yeah, I'm quite happy with also the change between Renegade and Paragon from the last two games, because Renegade in first game was generally very more dickish than it needed to be in general. I mean, not saying there's no dick responses in Mass Effect 2, there certainly are quite a few, and we picked a couple out there. It's just that it's more nuanced now. You can be a renegade, pro-Cerberus, pro-humanity, but you can also just be harsh and pragmatic. Whereas with the first one you could do that to an extent, but at the same time there were cases where it just felt unjustifiable. And I think it should always feel justifiable to be the bad guy, inverted commas. Whereas with Paragon, they mixed it up a bit. You get to punch people with Paragon interrupts now, for instance. Oh, it's just repeating the credits, is it? Okay, I'll just drone on for a little while longer. Whereas now, yeah, you get to punch people, you get to be a bit tougher, more aggressive, generally in defence of a greater cause and ideals, but still, it's good to break out the mould of just being a yes man who kind of goes along with everything without questioning, and is a self-righteous prig at the same time. But yeah, out of the two games, I think overall I've gotten more mileage out of Mass Effect 2, but I don't think anything will quite beat the first playthrough of Mass Effect 1. It's just that going through again, you realise how much fat there is to trim. Whereas with Mass Effect 2, you think they could have added a bit more fat, if you know what I mean. Just to flesh things out. You've got the skeleton of the story, but it's lacking something. It needs to be tied together better. It needs to be longer, I think. Despite the length of the game, I'm certainly value for money in that. But yeah, you could definitely do a few things there with Cerberus, with existential crisis of Commander Shepard, and just making things flow along a bit better rather than hopping from loyalty mission to loyalty mission and then suddenly being on their storyline. Yeah, I'll have to see what Mass Effect 3 does with that. Should be fun to play blind. After this, we've still got Zaid and Kasumi, we got Overlord, we got Arrival, which I haven't actually played, but I've seen it played. It's not blind, but I haven't played it myself. So that should be fun. Should be dying a lot at one particular point that I'm aware of, but we'll get through it in the end. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Mass Effect 2. Just commenting what's happened, but guess I could say, hey, is it repeating or no? I've actually talked over the whole thing, wow. I am a bore. But yeah, Mass Effect 2 I think represents a departure from the standard. You start normal, then you become special, Spectre, Grey Warden, whatever you want. Then you get 4 hub worlds to go to, which unlocks a 5th, and then you fight the bad guy. Yeah, that's a standard plot structure of BioWare games for the last decade or so. Just definitely for 2000 to 2007, 8. Yeah, until Mass Effect 2 basically. Yeah, I'd say from Neverwinter Nights to Mass Effect 1 and Dragon Age, that was a standard structure. This is much more Baldur's Gate 2-ish, in that you're following a linear path, but you get to branch off rather than being thrown into the world with 4 places to go and then resolving things, getting the artifacts. And yeah, if you played through those games, you'll know what I mean. I'm just waffling at this point, but yeah, for all its flaws in storytelling, I think Mass Effect 2 is a step forward in terms of how BioWare structures its stories. But anyway, enough rambling.